The Shek Report, with Dave Damashek reporting.
Damashek here. Week 6 is through, so let's get right to it. Just remember, players and coaches, don't get angry at me if I call your name. Ultimately, I didn't do this to you. You did this to you. Let it begin! At number 5, there is no number 5. Numbers 4, 3, 2, and 1 require too much attention, so let's get to those. At number 4, the allegedly vaunted Legion of Boom. Sorry, Richie, but you and your pals have now blown double-digit second-half leads in 3 of your last 7 games. Plus, you should have blown a lead against the 1-5 Lions, and you did blow a lead against Nick Foles. Nick Foles! Point the finger for the 2-4 record at Darrell Bevell, Jimmy Graham, or the offensive line all you want, but the Hawks' strength is supposed to be the defense. Guys, please don't fight. You're both right, and you're both bad right now. At number 3, the weekend in punting. First, there was the end of the Michigan-Michigan State game, which figured to be the worst moment in the all-time history of punt situations, but by the end of the weekend, wasn't even at the top of the list. No, not with the events of 10-18-15 in Indianapolis, Indiana. You've seen it. You've seen all the memes. You came out in droves to suggest it for this Shek Report. You know, when something weird happens, I find it comforting to go back to the basics. So let's try and figure it out with the 6 most fundamental questions known to man, namely, who, what, where, when, why, and how. First of all, who? A Colt wearing the number 32, not named Edge James. His name actually is Colt, though. Yes, he's wearing Edge's number 32, but that is not Edge James. And his partner in crime, a guy named Griff. Griff? Guys named Griff don't make football plays. They wear tweed blazers and marry girls named Muffy. Where? In America, the land of the free. But just because you're free to do something doesn't make it a good idea, as the Jags' choice to wear those weird helmets proves. When? In prime time, with the eyes of the football universe upon you. There's no one ringing that bell, and whatever else you accomplish from this point forward, this play will be on you like the stink of a skunk. Go ahead, ask Mark Sanchez, Jim Marshall, or Raheem Moore. Why? Because you didn't think you could beat the Patriots straight up? Okay, reasonable. But then again, did you think you were going to trick Belichick? That's unreasonable. How? As in, how could this have ever worked? Did the Colts brain trust sleep through math class? It's 1 against 4. Like I said, Colt Anderson is not Edge James. He's also not Jason Bourne or Beatrix Kiddo. Those people do well when the numbers are against them. But Colt Anderson is not an action hero. He's Colt Anderson. What? I mean, there are 9 guys over there, and over here you have Griff and Colt, and you have all those Patriots gathered around them, and I forgot what the question even is. Now it's time for Shoulders of Greatness, presented by Head & Shoulders. This week I've got a couple for you. First one goes to the most dominant, most unstoppable force in the NFL, maybe ever. Rob Gronkowski, or as Ike Taylor has named him, Unfair. Unfair Gronkowski. I hope that one catches on. Next, the guy I told you 3 weeks ago was the frontrunner for NFL MVP, Cam Newton. Speaking of what I've told you recently, look at this tweet. To be fair, I did have some inside info, namely Football Baby, who went 3-1 this week, is now 15-4 on the season, and is 46-16 lifetime. Where's his parade? Let's get back to the shameful. At number 2, Peyton's ego, which unlike his right arm, is at full strength. In his last 11 games, Peyton's thrown 11 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. But listen to the Sheriff in Sunday's postgame.
We're not having a ton of breaks. I won't be going to Vegas for my bye weekend. I'm not feeling real lucky right now.
Sorry, Peyton, but luck's got nothing to do with this. Wait, well, this luck did have something to do with you winding up in Denver, but I think you know what I mean. And so does Shek Field reporter Dan Ciopa. Yes, Peyton is like a stale Krispy Kreme donut. I have nothing more to add to that. And that brings me to number 1 and this week's brown paper bag of shame, which goes to reputation over reality. Maybe it's because of this weekend's 3 Super Bowl reunions, Cards, Steelers, Chiefs, Vikes, Ravens, Niners, but I've got another Super Bowl knocking around in my head, the one that we saw just 21 months ago, Super Bowl 48 between Peyton's offense of the century versus the Legion of Boom's defense of the century. It was the immovable object against the unstoppable force. But what would happen if these 2 teams played against each other now? Well, the Seahawks defense doesn't stop anybody, but then again, the Denver offense doesn't move against anybody. So I guess they would just sit there and stare at each other. in a staring contest. And that sounds boring to me. And that's why I say, Seattle defense, Denver offense, put this on. It's the brown paper bag of shame. You can fight it out inside here. I can't even find the eye holes, but there they are. Wear it well. Till next time, try not to embarrass yourselves.
Shek.